the offer that we came up with is the free 5-day pipeline build. So I split this into like dream outcome, what do they actually want? The time frame, which should be as low as possible. The effort and sacrifice, how much time does it take from them, which also should be as low as possible. And perceived likelihood of achievement, which should be as high as possible. All right. And so perceived likelihood of achievement just means how much trust someone has in your company. Since Salesforce is one of the biggest companies in software in the world, and they're pretty, especially in the space that they will be selling to, everyone knows who they are. So this part doesn't really need to be that strong. But especially for someone who wants to switch from, let's say, HubSpot or another CRM, the other points, especially for time frame and effort and sacrifice, are extremely important because it should happen as fast as possible, as easy as possible, without losing any important data. And so the outcome is that the reps are working live deals in Salesforce. That's the end outcome. So all the stage, the fields, the data is imported, deduped, the reports are there, email calendar synced, the reps are already trained on it pretty quickly. It's easy to use. Everything, the workflow doesn't change. You just have the thing that you didn't have in your CRM, which is the reason you switched. All right, which is going to be a bit different for everyone, but that's the dream outcome, that you switch successfully. And switching successfully doesn't just mean having a login, it means the reps can actually use it. All right, that's the main difference. The time frame in this offer is going to be 5 business days from the call. So the free 30 days are still there, and they can still start once the data is already migrated. So the trial doesn't burn, and while the CRM just sits empty, because that's what happens. You get a free trial, and then you sit there, and you're like, oh, what do I do now? And you need to hire a Salesforce administrator and all this stuff, which is a whole job function in itself in other businesses. Effort and sacrifice, it's one 30-minute call, one export to make this as easy as possible. You export all the data from HubSpot, you show them how to do that, or you do it for them if they give you access, and then you import it all into your platform. All right? They don't need to do anything. No hire, nothing. You do it for them. That's why it gets value, right? And then perceived likelihood of achievement is they just watch it get built on their own data. So they see their own deals are in there before they need to decide anything. You build it, and then you give them a free trial to use the CRM for free with their data in it, not with sample data, with their actual data, which is the highest perceived likelihood of achieving the dream outcome that you can give, plus all the social proof and like brand authority that Salesforce has on its own already. All right. And then we have the market, which is the next step. So obviously we want to send cold emails, and we want to do this at high scale because the market is big. All right. And we have 2 segments for 2 campaigns I wanted to cover here. First, people who are on HubSpot, and then people who have no CRM at all. Now, people with no CRM at all are basically unlimited. So we're just going to take a part of that like total addressable market because it's huge, and there's not really a public like ceiling I could find. So we're just going to take 100,000 companies, which means 1 contact per company, by the way. And then HubSpot, all of it, every customer, around 300,000 people or companies. To do this, because we send like 15 to 20 emails per inbox that we buy, and there's like 3 inboxes per domain, for the HubSpot campaign, we need around 954 inboxes with 318 domains, and for the other segment, 318 with 106 domains, to be able to reach the entire total addressable market every 30 days on a repeat cycle. Because this is how you dominate the market, which is what Salesforce would likely want to do. And so this is the market. We have the side for HubSpot, and we have the side with no CRM, where we just take 100,000. So we send 400,000 contacts, which is 800,000 emails per month to the market. Which, if we say that we send 800,000 emails per month with an average client lifetime value of $10,000, which is quite low for this, but let's be conservative, a close rate from the meetings of about 15%. They get 4,000 replies, 600 positive, 240 meetings booked, 25 deals closed. So about a 3.5x ROI if we run the email campaigns, which are with conservative assumptions, by the way. We get probably double of these numbers. So we get like 2% reply rates and 20% positive. And we book 80, not 40, without having a strong brand. Like we use this, we do this for all types of softwares, which nobody knows, right? Definitely not as famous as Salesforce. So these numbers will be way higher anyway. But yeah, that's around what they would get from 800,000 emails a month.